Where is Sandvich?
Hi everyone and welcome back to RPS at PAX, where I'm joined once again by the voice cast of Team Fortress 2. I'm here with John, the voice of the sniper.
Nice to see you again.
I'm with Gary, the voice of both the heavy and the demo man.
That's right.
Dennis, the voice of the spy and the pyro.
Yes.
Ellen, the voice of the announcer.
Overtime.
And Liz, who's only been introduced to me as a mysterious woman, which is very intriguing indeed. So it's lovely to see you all again. How has PAX been for you so far?
It's enormous. Oh my God.
Size doesn't matter, but it's enormous.
We did a 5-hour signing yesterday.
5 hours?
With TF2 fans,
Wow.
and it was so wonderful. Everyone was so kind and gracious and welcoming. We were so happy to meet everyone. I personally was surprised at the turnout.
Yeah, but I mean, they were there so long. Several people at the end of the line had gotten married, raised families, gotten law degrees, had successful careers, all in line. So it was amazing.
Did you not get the portfolio of sketches of the characters that they did while they were waiting on
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, we were given artwork that people did while they were waiting in line of our characters.
That's fantastic.
It was.
I saw the photos of the line.
People, I met someone who came from Chile and France to be at this.
To be at PAX East, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and I had a friend drive down from Maine. My friend Lucy. It was fabulous.
Wow, that's so nice. How is it when last year we were talking about how it was quite rare for you all to be together. How is it to be in that situation where you're all together and you've seen all these people who are talking to you and telling you how much this game means to you? How is that?
Well, for me, being 70 years old, it is so gratifying to be of interest to all of these wonderful young people and getting to talk to them because, listen, trust me, when I walk down the street in Seattle anonymously as some old lady, nobody pays attention to me.
Yeah, I mean, usually when young people pay attention to me, it's just to blame me for stuff, So it's really...
Okay, boomer.
That's right. No, and of course, that's one of the wonderful things is the comments we've been getting on the sandwich videos. They'll make all these wonderful comments. Oh, these old people are so cute. I hope that I'm having this much fun when I'm that old. And it's just hilarious. But the kids that come up to us at the cons are just wonderfully sweet and wonderfully friendly.
That's lovely.
The cool thing is since we've done these videos, our real faces are now recognizable. And I was just walking past a Starbucks in the Westin, and there was a guy there just looking at me, and he just said, and he held up his Jimmy John's, and he said, "Sandvich." And I said, "Oh my God."
So we're movie stars now.
First, there's a character in this cast that only appears masked in any guise. So
he's still
I
not
have my
Good point.
That's right.
Only is that one character.
Well, no, he always has a mask on.
He's always got the spy.
Spy has a mask.
Good
Pyro
point.
has a mask.
Dennis.
So once he's gone, we could cast anybody.
Right. We'll probably just have Lizzie play
I've
it.
been on probation since the beginning.
Into that role.
That's right.
So let's...
I am an assassin, remember.
Oh yeah, very good point. So let's talk about the Sandvich Saga, because when I last spoke to you at PAX West, I believe it was about 5-10 minutes after we finished speaking, I go on Twitter and I see this video of you in a cafe downstairs with Robin doing Robin's thing, shouting as the medic, and you're all talking about the Sandvich.
Where is Sandvich?
Crikey, you call that a sandwich?
Victory.
Excuse me? Do you have any Wiener Schnitzel? Wiener Schnitzel? Oh, let's get out of here.
And then the amount of videos you've done since then has been, as a fan of the game, has been an absolute delight. How did this thing start?
Well, I think when we did the first one, we made the people who worked at the deli so uncomfortable that we thought, well, we can make a lot more people than this uncomfortable. You know, we can really be annoying and awful.
We have
Yeah, and I think we've tried to fulfill that.
Our
mission
goal
statement.
from the beginning.
I think that as soon as we saw all of the views that we got, like almost instantaneously, I think it was Robin, and we all just said, hey, this could be the start of something. And that's
Right.
when his brain started clicking with, let's get these things together, and he became sort of...
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I have this machine in my brain that comes up with stories. And
Silly story.
silly story. Well, and stupidity is just one of my fave things. And the one thing that I loved about the game when we first started voicing it, and I think that all of us identified with so much, is that the writers, Jay Pinkerton and Eric Wolpaw, loved making these characters simultaneously very competent and absolutely stupid. They would just do stupid stuff, and so that just completely resonated with my storytelling style, and Robin really was Robin Atkins Down was the guy who got it started. He said we should go into this deli, ask for a sandwich, and put it up on Twitter, because he was this big social media guy, and it worked fabulous. We got 500,000 views, something like that, and then he was saying, we got to keep it going. And one of the challenges we had is that he lived in Los Angeles, and all of us live in Seattle. And I started doing, a couple just with Ellen. We were driving around and we saw a billboard and this will be a cool joke. And I did another one kind of right where we live. And then I thought, I want to do one with Gary. And he lives in North Bend, which is the town where the series Twin Peaks was filmed, and the film Twin Peaks was filmed. And so I said, hey man, I want to do one with these, so I'll just come out to North Bend, we'll film it out there. And Gary said, why don't we have a Twin Peaks reference? And I thought, I know Liz McCarthy, who was in Twin Peaks. That'd be a great, and of course she just had this weird, stupid part. She was this giggling secretary who did nothing but giggle, and she was hilarious.
And read.
Well, and read, yes, right.
And now you've blown her cover.
That's right.
See, when these scripts start making sense, that's when we need to revisit the high concept.
That's right, yes,
That's
exactly.
good. I like that.
exactly.
Very Lynchian of you all. I think it's
Absolutely, and of course, and that's my, and Gary's the same way. I mean, we, what's the first thing you do in improv? Just reincorporate. Whatever you do, you set up something, right? Mm-hmm. And so we lost the sandwich, and I thought, Robin is in L.A. He can't be in any of these videos we're doing up here. We'll say that we lost the medic too, and particularly since Heavy is in a particular relationship with the medic, so we get some romance in there.
That is rumored.
Right.
That is rumored.
Right.
I mean, I ship.
Just exploratory.
But so we just kept that going, and I called Rob and said, "Hey man, you've been captured," and then we had to figure out who he was captured by, and I came up with the colossal repository for unused stratagems. Crust. The evil organization Crust that had captured him, and then I had to come up with the good organization fighting it, and so I came up with the League of Urgently Needed. I don't know. You're a member.
Yes, the League of wait.
We don't have our scripts with us.
Urgently needed cohorts.
Urgently needed cohorts, haranguers, and metrically enhanced algorithmic tactician.
That's right.
Well remembered.
Lunch meat. And I pulled that out
Liz
without
is-
a cup of coffee.
Liz is my friend, so I write that line for her. She has to say that
Now you
line.
put the pressure on all of us to remember.
So then Robin and I wanted to do a Zoom, and I was thinking, okay, let's do another Twin Peaks thing. And so when he was, in this dark space, being, imprisoned, we did a mind meld thing. We came up with this idea that we can communicate by mind meld, and and then I said, you know what? The fans are probably, let's put a code in there see if they'll, they're gamers. So let's see if they'll decode it. So I gave him the combination to unlock himself to get out of wherever that dark place he was in, which was probably a studio.
And we won't spoil this, but the code does translate into parts of the sandwich.
Yes.
So
it's a
You guys
numeric
have it.
code and
Right.
blah, and then also
Liverwurst.
because it was also Twin Peaks, and I don't think this thread has gotten picked up yet, but maybe who knows?
Right.
I wanted to do the idea that Heavy has a doppelganger, and so I recorded a message in the mind meld of Heavy saying something, but I played it backwards, and so only if you go to that particular video and play that little sequence backwards will you know how to spot doppelganger Heavy,
Yeah, you'll
who
find
hasn't
out.
shown up yet.
You'll find out that Heavy is actually Paul McCartney, who's dead. But
See, there we go. No need to revisit the high concept.
but you did introduce the line "Heavy is spy," which I did reincorporate.
Yes.
Because I had Medic hallucinating that Heavy was spy and spy was demo, and then he said Sniper was Heavy, and I took exception because I thought.
So we have a lot of threads to pick from of which
I
one to
think
go
all our-
direction
yeah.
to go in.
All our threads come from all of our stupid ideas that we
Right.
want incorporated.
Right, and even with all these threads, we can't seem to come up with a single fabric. So.
I was going to ask how it is to work together, but I don't think I need to because it's so nice just hearing you talk about it, and you're clearly having so much fun with it.
We are a bunch of cute old people, excuse me, Liz, having a good
for-
time.
Saying we're old, we're fine.
Well, but it's great being kind of the writer because all these guys are so creative. They always are coming up with stuff, and I'm such a that any idea they come up with, I just shove into the story.
Yes, and
But
I
he puts on the
concur.
director's
I
hat
concur.
and wrangles us all. So
Right.
we're just happy to get a call
Yeah.
and go to whatever weird location he's found.
Like a Washington Ferry or,
Yeah.
what is it? Volunteer Park. Yeah.
Volunteer Park, right?
Water Tower
Yeah.
at Volunteer Park. And
Yeah. Oh, and we'll, as long as I can keep coming up with weird locations, we will keep coming up with episodes.
That's why, like I said, most of it is in the beginning was a travel log of iconic Seattle locations
Yep.
that you would find online. So
Right,
it's
right.
great. Gasworks Park.
And it's great because a lot of people think we're going all over the world, which we kind of are. I mean, I made one in Peru because we happened to have a gig there, and then I made one in L.A. because I had a gig down there, and Robin makes his stuff down in L.A. But all the other locations are just places around Seattle.
Oh, and Robin Atkin Downs, he has great ideas.
Right,
And,
right.
and
Yeah.
he's always in conversation with us about, what's going to happen next.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's here. He will be at our TF2 panel.
Excellent.
In a little bit. I think we start at
12:30.
12:30.
Right.
So he will be joining us, and we're very excited about that.
Brilliant. That's going to be very exciting.
I could have made one of those from Greece, I guess. I could have just,
You know what's really funny is when we were recording TF2 back years ago, we hardly ran into each other. We just recorded ourselves by ourselves. They never put us in a group to record. Otherwise, you'd get this, and we'd waste all their studio time.
Right.
But so this has actually been, the creation of this like
get to hang more.
ensemble group now, and it's hilarious and so much fun. These are great, fun people to be with.
Yeah, you can really tell that in the videos as well.
I agree.
Which is important when you cram 6 of them in the back seat of a 2008 Toyota Corolla.
No,
And me twice.
That's where it hits the wall, right there.
We have repopularized the 2008 Toyota Corolla.
Oh, but,
And the
not
clown
under
car
joke.
as well.
It's the new DeLorean.
Is it tiring for you two, Gary and Dennis, to have to constantly change costume as the camera turns? I've been thinking about
And
this
they
a lot.
never stop whining about it, I can tell you that.
He used to do like real-time whip pans, and we're like, I would say, you know what? Let's do a cut.
And I said, you mean I have to go home and edit this crap? Isn't it bad enough that I film it the first time and have to look at it for
There
hours?
have been a couple of shots where, wait a minute, you had the wrong face on. No. Retake.
Right, exactly.
Well, I put on the eye patch. I'm gonna talk like this,
Right.
Of course, I might add that I'm the only one who has to wear a suit and tie with my face. Yeah. So I think I deserve.
But what's funny is
acknowledgement
You
for that.
handle it well. Better
in the
you than
park.
any of the rest.
I look like Big Lord Fauntleroy, but
We're out in the park, with all of our stuff, and Mysterious Woman, and we're all standing there, and I've got my eye patch on, and they hear, Sandwich! And then people come over and they go, "Are you the TF2 people for real?"
Right.
I was going to ask this. Have you been recognized? Clearly you have.
Filming,
yeah.
right.
you're going to have to copyright that, Yeah. Yes, you are.
We were on the monorail, and we had to stay on the monorail. We were going to buy tickets to go back and forth, but the driver of the monorail was a fan. And she let us ride on it until we were done.
So we were just going, so people don't know this, but the Seattle monorail is 1 mile long.
Oh.
And it just goes back and forth. Just
Between
back
two
and
stops,
forth.
right.
And so the driver, she was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
And just let us stay on, and we were just going back and forth.
Oh, we had to, of course, we had to take selfies with her and everything like that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's hardly payment. For us, that's just a perk.
Yeah.
Don't miss that monorail when you come. In 1962 at the World's Fair, that was the vision of the future.
Right.
Every city in the country was going to have
Monorails.
transit floating along the top of the cities.
And we were-
George Jetson lives in Seattle.
Right. I mean, the Space Needle basically was modeled after George Jetson's house, or George Jetson's house was modeled after the Space
Yes,
Needle.
That's right.
the Space Needle did come.
The theme was the space age, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, I am also learning a lot about Seattle from the videos, so it's good to have so much knowledge. Can I ask about the absolutely excellent ABBA parody that you all did? How did that come about? Where did the idea for that come from?
I've been looking for you since I don't know when. If you're cheddar or blue, it must come to an end. Where are you now? I will lose my mind. I don't know how I will ever find you again.
You are truly my sandwich friend.
Just one bite and I can hear a bell ring. Day or night and I forget everything.
Whoa, sandwich.
Here I go again.
My, how can I resist you?
So-
Amazing musicians, man.
It was his idea.
Well, full credit. We went to a con, NERCon, in Linköping, Sweden, and it was the third time they'd invited us there, Ellen and me. And they wanted us to do a concert, and that's fine. We sing all the GLaDOS songs, we sing all the songs that I wrote for a video game that I wrote songs for.
Church in the Darkness.
Right, and Ellen said, I want to do a sing-along at the end. And we had this one sing-along we do that's an old Appalachian folk song, which is a lot of fun. And the thing is, it turns out that Swedes love to sing along. They will sing along. They will just hop in.
They're all in choruses.
Yeah.
The young man that took us around, Linus, is in a gospel choir.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So, but Ellen wanted to do we should do something that that they would really identify with, and she came up with Mamma Mia. And so I arranged, right, ABBA, and so I arranged it on banjo, and we did it, and it was a great big hit. They loved it. Oh, as soon as I did, they're clapping and they just can't wait to hop in and sing. And so I just had this idea that I would just write some parody lyrics for Mamma Mia because Sandvich fits right in there, and then of course
Blonde and a brunette.
Right. I had the two. Right.
Of course, Liz is a wonderful singer.
Right. Yeah.
And we've been in many musicals together.
Right. And so it didn't take long to come up with the lyrics. It just it all involved the parts of the sandwich and how much in love Heavy was with the sandwich. But this once you have a concept like we are searching for a mythical object. Like, the sword Excalibur or the ring of power or the Holy Grail, only it's a sandwich. That is so stupid that you have established the stupidity bar. And all you have to do is revisit that bar And
Yes, and about, having the fact that we had the pyro and the spy and the heavy and the...
well, when you have a built-in joke
Yeah.
like Pyro,
Yes,
who only
demo.
mumbles through his gas mask, having him sing a song
I mean, that was
for us,
that was the best solo.
Right.
Here at Dennis, it was the best, your solo.
Liz, what's it been like to work with these and to be involved and...
It's been a blast. When John originally called me and asked me, he said, listen, I've got this crazy idea. Would you do me a favor and just come out to North Bend to this little cafe and just laugh?
That was just creepy.
And I was like, sure. And then it just evolved. I have so much fun with it. I'm so grateful that they've included me. We've had so much fun that John kept redoing my character, and eventually I became the mysterious woman who is a
And
super
now she
top
has her own
secret
fan
spy.
art.
Well, but of course, but this is how it works too, because how she became Mysterious Woman is that people started, when they started writing about the North Bend one and the one on the ferry, they started saying, who is this mysterious woman? The mysterious woman appears again.
Interesting.
And so mysterious woman she became. She's eventually going to marry Pyro, and her name will become Mysterious Woman -Pyro.
Spoiler!
Well, we'll see. We're not sure about that thread.
Pyro would love it, but
But it's great. I called her up right before we went to Peru, and I said, hey, Liz, I have this weird idea. And she said, really? You have a weird idea. So she fits right in now.
Well, and one of my favorite comments from a fan, they quoted me when when you say, and what do I call you? And I said, you don't.
I'll call you.
That was retweeted. You don't.
Amazing. I love it.
I want someone to make a meme of that.
I'm
But
sure
it's great
someone
because we
will.
literally, like the day before we went to Peru, I said, hey, man, let me come over and film this scene with you, and then we'll go to Peru. And so it's just completely silly. Completely silly.
And grand.
So, Dennis, you weren't here last time when we had a chat, and I would love to ask you a few questions about your time, as the spy and the pyro. Can you remember what it was like to try and discover the voices for those two characters?
Absolutely. It's emblazoned on my memory. We went into, we had, some of us had the same agent, talent agent in Seattle. We would get calls for commercial voiceovers and things like that. This happened to be a game. Most of us had done some games already. And so I went into audition for, actually, no, I did it from home, of course. Right. It was a home audition from my little audition setup in my house. And they, at first, the writers didn't know what nationality or anything they wanted the spy to be. And they said, just, come up with something European, just look for something sort of European, maybe like a bit of a Eurotrash accent, So I tried German, I threw in a British, maybe a Spanish, and then there was the sort of pidgin Frenchman. And that's the one that they glommed onto. So he became a sort of faux French. I guess he's considered French now, but somewhere around there in Alsace-Lorraine, I don't know.
Now, when you did your audition, did you just send in a variety of accents?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I sent in maybe 5 or 6 different accents, and they chose that one.
Okay.
So somewhere out there, there's a file that is a Spanish spy.
And I've tried to find it recently. I tried to go through all of my my old hard drives that have been sitting in a box for years. And I wasn't able to find the original auditions yet.
What a shame.
But I did get from Valve an audio of the original session for The Spy.
Oh, wow.
So I have a few minutes of that, and that's really fun to listen to.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Then when I went in to actually do the first session with The Spy, I finished that session, and they said, we have another character that we're not sure what to do with this guy. He said, would you like to audition for it? I said, well, sure, why not? And they said, well, he's the pyromaniac. And here's a sheet of dialogue for him. So, but the problem is that no one can ever understand what he says. So, because he wears a gas mask. And so we experimented with various sort of muffling techniques, or things to make it unintelligible. And I tried various voice tricks, but then they said, no, it's not quite it. And I said, well, and they said, that's it. That's the voice we want.
And that's how
So
you,
just like that, I got a second
character.
character. Yep, that's all it was. I hate to give away that trade secret, but so many people are asking. I want it to sound much more exotic than that, but it was really just an answer.
So I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can I ask, did you have a favorite line for the spy and the pyro?
Oh gosh, there are so many. And I had a bunch of them written down during the live stream last year, but I found it because a lot of people would ask in the live stream, would you give a favorite spy line? And the spy, used a lot of dicey language, in the game. So I had to be a little bit judicious with that. But there were things like one of my favorite scenes is the expiration date, which is what I keep thinking is going to happen to this sandwich if we don't find it. Where the scout comes to ask the spy for lessons in seduction. And there's a favorite line I have in there where he says, how would you attract a lady? And the spy comes with a bucket of chicken, and a bottle of Coke or something.
The scout does.
The scout does. And I knock the chicken off of the tray and I say, I am not one of your fried chicken tramps. And I've used that line so many times ever since. Don't tell my wife, but like how dare you think of me in those terms. So that's one of them. Something else like, go to hell and take your cheap suit with you.
I've heard that line a lot over my time with the game.
It's
Yeah.
like our Monty Python night.
It's great because I feel like I'm the only guy with any actual class in the entire thing. And probably the only one with 2 brain cells to rub together, and that would be the limit right there. So,
That's excellent. So I really
that's
have
the prehistory of the spy.
I absolutely love it. So I have one last question for you all, and you might not want to reveal anything, but what's next for the extended TF2 cinematic universe, I suppose?
Well, of course, the one thing that voice actors never know is what game production companies are going to do next. Because game production companies know if they tell us, we will totally spill the beans on social media. And they don't want that to happen. So we have no idea.
Never trust an actor.
Right. Because even if they have pulled us in and done voice work for a project, that doesn't particularly mean that the project is moving forward.
Yeah.
So we really have no idea. We do know that an update is coming up for TF2 this summer.
Yep.
That's been officially announced. I just want to give another shout out to the fans for figuring out a way to make a kind of concerted noise so that Valve would realize. The guys at Valve, they're all maniacs and geniuses, but they're just insanely busy all the time. And the fact that the bots had kind of taken over the game.
That got solved over here.
Right.
Yeah, I think it
but
did.
but it got solved because the fans really said, hey, we need this to be fixed. And when it was brought to their attention, they got on it and they fixed it. So that was great of the fans. But really, Valve is a very interesting company in that it's a kind of a level company. Anybody can walk into anybody's office with an idea and they can start going. But they never tell us anything and never will.
Well, the more important question then, can we expect another installment in the Sandvich Saga to be filmed here at PAX East?
Stay tuned.
It's filled with mystery. It's a mystery whether or not we will film another episode.
But we are in a new location, so.
I see you, Gary Schwartz.
Well, thank you all so much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to spend time with you all. So thank you for coming along, and Dennis and Liz especially.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Thanks for having us.
Merci beaucoup, mes
Thank you
amis.
so much for watching, and thank you for being an RPS supporter. It means a lot to us.
Okay, that's it. That's right. Right, blow off these wankers. Where's the booze?
I'm okay.